सरस्वती सरस्वत्यै नमो नमः। ओम आंगिरासाय नमो नमः। ओम कपिलाय नमो नमः। ओम गर्गाय नमो नमः। ओम वेदव्यासाय नमो नमः। ओम श्रीधर्माय नमो नमः। ओम समस्त मात्र शक्त्यै नमो नमः। ओम श्री राधा कृष्णाभ्याम नमो नमः। ओम my humble pranam to the audience, very distinguished audience. My gratitude to Sri Rajiv Verma ji, Shruti ji for providing this platform and to share with you the ancient wisdom in modern contemporary human experiences. And those of you who have been following the series of lectures given the course number 1, this is the course number 2, this is the 5th lecture. As we follow these lectures and ideas and concept embedded in the ancient wisdom, you should be able to come to realization that the whole Vedic worldview is very broad, very deep, very beautiful, wonderful, yet mysterious. And the Vedic worldview encompasses all what is available, whatever exists in this cosmos, whatever remains unmanifested. So the both manifested cosmos and unmanifested cosmos, with all its limbs and parts and parcels, have been examined from the Vedic viewpoints. And we have been discussing these Vedic viewpoints. As we go along, today we are going to focus on Sanskar Yogadharma. Continue our journey, and I hope you can follow through. And of course, the website is available for course. You can go back and use it over and over and over, not only for self-education, but also teaching others about what this Vedic worldview is about. So let's move. This lecture will be focusing on Sanskar Yogadharma Kshetra and the division of life span has been categorized into 4 segments called the 4 ashrams. Having spent the first fourth part of his life in Gurukul, the second fourth part in his own house with his wife, third part in the forest, he should take sannyasa in the final part, renouncing all the world ties. All the worldly ties have to be renounced in the final phase of human life. Manusmriti talks about in detail. So the basic question arises, what are the sanskaras and why are they performed? The answer is given below. These sacraments are the rituals which are performed as various events in life, beginning with the conception and ending with the funeral rites. All these are very highly structured and they are suited to particular event, the kind of offerings and oblations carried out according to that particular event. And these I can call at the concrete manifestation of foundational aspect principles of Sanatana Dharma Kshetra. So this is the practical part of the abstract ideas which embodies the original principles, and this practice part gives us a proper understanding of the abstract ideas. Why the propitiate gods to attain desired goals and ward off evils and enemies. Gods are living outside of the human body and inside the human body. To lead a disciplined life at various stages of life, very, very important. In Brahmacharya ashram, Grahastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, Sannyas ashram, it has to be lived a disciplined life, not only to experience the beauty and wonder and celebration of life, but also transcend this human life. It has to be structured. It has to be disciplined. Without structure, without discipline, nothing even this mundane world will work. Whether you're talking about any system, any organization, this has to be structured, that has to be disciplined, even include, for example, the driving framework on the roads, infrastructure. There are all you're familiar with rules and regulations and discipline that we have to follow. Then also required to follow Pursarth, Adidevik, Adhyatmik Dharma, Artha Dharma, Kama Dharma, Moksha Dharma. These ideas have been discussed, delineated in the previous lectures. To initiate, to achieve growth and sustain sattvic yogic way of living. Very, very important. There is a tamasic way of living, there is a rajasic way of living, and sattvic way of living. That's what we need to foster upon and try to achieve that kind of yogic way of living. To transmit and foster the basic tenets of Pursarth field corresponding to lifestyle to the next generation. Very, very important. How do we transmit the entire way of sattvic living to the next generation? Not only ideas are important, but their practical manifestations are equally important, even more important, especially for the new generation growing up from childhood till adulthood and beyond. So very important. Without these sanskaras, without the sanskaras and sanskriti, we will talk about later on and following lecture sanskriti also. What is the relation between sanskar and sanskriti? And these sanskar and sanskriti, along with the foundational ideas, are the backbone of civilization. So Vedic civilization was very, very careful, very, very thoughtful to address both these issues, theoretical as well as experimental, which is the whole contemporary scientific understanding is about. Theoretical and experimental, theory and practice. To organize and regulate Sanskritic, which is not a culture. We have defined earlier the difference between Sanskriti and culture, Dharma Kshetra. to provide, to enrich and sustain the identity of Sanatana civilization. Many civilizations arose, stayed for some time, and then disappeared, died out, because those civilizations could not sustain their idea, their practices with changing times. So these sanskaras, along with the Sanskritic manifestation of them, do provide the means not only to sustain but enrich the identity of Sanatana Dharma, to mutually rebond family and society, to reintegrate Adhyatmic, Adidevik, and Adbhautik reams. These are the three primary reams which have been used to categorize the world and worldly experiences. When the original Srishti created aspect of the cosmos get differentiated, manifested, it also simultaneously get separated. It becomes eventually broken world. And so we had to reintegrate this broken world, this dissociated, disjointed world, not only physically, abstractly, but also in providing these relationship through which we can reintegrate. It's a very, very, very powerful idea. So these are primary 16 sanskaras. I'm going to list down here the conception, starting with the conception. Ritual for male child to be born, parting of hair of the pregnant wife, rituals at the time of child's birth, naming ceremony, ritual when the child is taken out for the first time, ritual when the child is given solid food for the first time, first haircut of the child, ear piercing, teaching of the first time, ritual of bearing the sacred thread, and beginning of the study of scripture. Godan, ritual for having the beard for the first time. Samvartan, Samavartan, ritual bath at the end of studentship. Vivaha Sanskar, which is really not a marriage or wedding. We will discuss it later. And Antyeshti, the funeral rites. These are the primary 16 sanskar. They have been identified and they have been put into practice at different stages of life. Number 1, 2, 3 are prenatal sanskars. Number 4 to 9 are childhood sanskars. And number 10 to 14 is educational sanskars. And number 15, 16 are the sanskar for householder. Sanskar for householder basically involves two prominent sanskaras. One is called the Vivaha Sanskar, other one is called the Mrityu Sanskar, death Sanskar. And this session, this will focus only on two sanskaras, which are very, very important, significant. One is the Vivaha Sanskar, other one is the death, Mrityu Sanskar. So let's look at the Vivaha Sanskar first. You have come across, you have participated in the Vivaha Sanskar. And this is a typical picture. My questions are to the audience. Do we really know what is going on here and why? Do we know the meaning, purpose of rituals performed? I doubt many of us are totally ignorant. Sad state of affairs and the source of decay and pollution of this sacred sanskar is continuously going on, this pollution and uprooting, because of our deep ignorance. And we are not being educated. Generation to generation, the corruption, pollution creep in, and eventually the original wisdom and practice get lost. Let's look at historical notes. All the four Vedas in the Graha Sutras, they discuss and formulate Vivaha Sanskar. Graha Sutra of Rig Veda, there are 3 sutras in Rig Veda, 1 sutra in Sukla Yajurveda, 9 sutras. These are the big scriptures. 9 sutras in Krishna Yajurveda, and Samveda 3 sutras, Atharvaveda 1. Total number of sutras, these granthas, these all the details of procedures and meaning and purpose, there are 17 or so. It's a very, very broad and deep set of world of sanskars. Apart from Graha Sutras, Vivaha ceremony is also found in Srota Sutra, Dharma Sutra, Smritis, Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Kavyas, Natkas. Kama Sutra also contains the Vivaha Sanskar. Ritual became more and more complex in numbers with the passage of time. Keep in mind. It is noted that the tradition custom change from place to place in time, along with the addition and modifications. This is very important to note. Many times the 2 schools of thought in contemporary Hindu world. One school of thought and set of followers say, well, whatever has been written so far is written in stone, that cannot be changed, that cannot be modified, that is not mutable. Other schools of thought say, well, no, they have been under continuous change and modification, suiting to the place and times, conditions. That's the other school. My thought is this. My thought is this, that with the changing times, with the changing social conditions, with the changing worldviews in contemporary living, these sanskars have to be upgraded, modified, and changed. But this modification, change, and upgrading cannot be arbitrary. It has to be based upon the foundational principles behind the sanskar, the Vedic worldview. So we go back from practice, change the practice, but go back to the foundational principle, how this practice has to be changed that does not violate the foundational principles. This is my yogic contemplative viewpoint. Also very important, Vivaha Sanskar, child Vivaha Sanskar is not mentioned Graha Sutra. It starts beginning in the Smriti period. Purana also describes sanskar of various gods and goddesses. Comments written, addressed in detail, rituals followed that were influenced by social and traditional background. Ritual field based on Graha Sutra is still practiced in contemporary Hindu society. Let us see what the primary meaning of the Vivaha and Sanskar. First mention of Vivaha of Surdev and Soma in Rig Veda, and Vivaha of Sun and Prithvi, Atri Brahman. Let me explain to you this beautiful science. Sun and Prithvi had three realms: the divine world, Sun as a god, Prithvi as a goddess; Adhyatmic world, all the material elements in the body, all the energetic elements in the body are the Sun and Prithvi. And there is an outside Sun out there, and Prithvi is here. So these are the three realms through which we can look at the Vivaha Sanskar as well. So what does it mean by the Vivaha of Sun and Prithvi in the Adibhautik world? Sun and Prithvi got united together. This is called yogic union. And that's why the sun rays picks up the water from the ocean, from the earth. It goes up and it comes down to rain. The entire region called Antariksh, through which the circulation of the primary elements of nature take place. And they give rise to what he called the human life or life forms, living form on this earth. Without this vivaha between Adibhautik Sun and the Adibhautik Prithvi, the ground, this world, it could not have been possible to even originate the life form. What to talk about the sustainability of life. So this is the yogic union. That's what means by vivaha. But this statement I consider to be incomplete under contemporary situations. I call two words I use: vivaha sanskar yoga, yogic union of male and female to be established within their newly emerged grihastha ashram. It's very important. Vivaha sanskar yogadharma means Vivaha sanskar yoga to initiate and uphold additional dharmas within the grihastha. As soon as identity changes, union becomes a yogic union, then the grihastha ashram come into play. It's very, very important. It's a creative aspect. Vivaha sanskar is a creative aspect. This creative aspect, this is a sustainable aspect, and this is finally exit from the worldly experience. That all these three realms and fields define the Vivaha sanskar. Let's look this view graph. A is a male personality, B is a female personality. A and B come together through Vivaha sanskar. Then they create another field, and with the boundary, blue boundary here, called Grihastha Ashram Yoga Kshetra. So intersection of the set A and set B define the compatibility index between common gunas in the Vivaha sanskar. And yogic union of A, B has to be embedded in C, because within C you have your own private world through which you interact the outside world deep. It's very important. We have to create boundaries. That's why it's called Vivaha Grahastha Ashram. Two kinds of boundaries. Compatibility in degree of kind of overlap between personalities of A and B. As we know, personality of A and B are different. So that's why we look around, we find all the information available through the families, through individuals nowadays dating, to figure it out each one's personality, with how much compatible they are. Greater the compatibility, better is going to be the union, better is going to be sustainability, better is going to be satisfaction. So yogic union is bounded by physical entity called home. Not only physical entity, but also field of Grahastha Ashram Yoga denoted by C. So another field in our mental world we create, which is called the Grahastha Ashram. And this Grahastha Ashram becomes located within the confine of the physical entity called home. New set of dharma emerge. This is called emergence phenomena. As soon as we have this Vivaha Sanskar, new set of dharmas are born from this field, which were not there before. So all the Sanskar and Sanskritic Dharma Kshetra find their ground in C, which is the Grahastha Ashram. Grahastha Ashram, it has a requirement to create physical space, a structure in order to get physical privacy, mental privacy, behavioral privacy. Provide opportunity to prepare for easy gradual exit to other ashram, Banafrist and Sannyas Ashram. It provides the ground through which all kinds of experience, the trial and tribulation go through both Pati and Patni, husband and wife, within this Grahastha Ashram. It also provides the limits for effectiveness, efficiency, and power. The boundary is very important. It does not, you cannot transgress the boundary. Provided opportunity for potential separation amicably in Grahastha Ashram breaks down. If Grahastha Ashram breaks down, husband and wife cannot live together because of so many conditions, new conditions that come up. Then this Grahastha Ashram can also provide a separation which is amicable, which is not bitter. Now let's look at the Vivaha Sanskar. There are 8 types of Vivaha Sanskars have been mentioned in our sutras. Paisach, Rakshas, Gandharva, Asur, Prajapati, Aras, Dev, and Brahma. The last one is the ideal one, the most complete one that is being currently followed. In earlier times, others have been followed also. Let's look at, just see what the Paisach Vivaha is. This is the least approved Vivaha, the most uncivilized and barbarous method, full of fraud. Cohabiting the girl who is unconscious, mad, or intoxicated. Under those conditions, such union takes place. Such union then is disapproved. And Then number 2 is Rakshas Vivaha. Under this Vivaha, primarily capture a girl by force while she is crying or weeping, having killed, scattered, and injured her relatives. It's called the Rakshas Vivaha. There is a story in the Mahabharata. Bhishma captured the wives for Kuru princes, called the best form of Kshatriya Varna. But that was without the ways of Rakshasa. This method has disappeared with time. Gandharva Vivaha, where the bride and bridegroom meet each other of their own accord, and meeting is consummated in copulation born of passion. I am also giving simultaneously the references. If you look at the dating phenomena, contemporary world, which has come up for last hundreds of years, is getting more prevalent nowadays in every society. And this can be classified under the category Gandharva Vivaha. Badhu, who alone was Bhadra, who brilliantly attired herself, selected her mate, even in the midst of an assembly. Jayamala concept comes from there. The bride selects her mate from within the assembly of potential grooms. This form was also gradually phased out during Grahastha period, Grahasutra period. Asur Vivaha, where the husband and wife, after having paid money to relations of bride and bride herself, accept her out of free will. Husband pays the money to relatives of the bride and bride herself. Sometimes, though otherwise unfit, husband for money out of greed, girls themselves selected wealthy people. So many times the girls will select the wealthy persons. They may be unfit. They may be less compatible with her personality and sattvic mode of living. But still, the girl can select that husband who has a lot of money. And this is now not uncommon practices in the contemporary world. What has that been described long time ago as Ashur Vivaha? The learned father of the girl should not expect, the injunction is, a learned father of girls should not accept any least amount of price. Accepting price out of greed, he becomes the seller of children. So this is the prescription that, and the injunction here. Prajapati form. In this form, pair bride and bridegroom enter the solemn bond for discharging their debts to Prajapati. That is for procreating and bringing up children. And here, in this particular form of Vivaha Sanskar, the rights of husband and wife are equally well secured. Very important. Then the next one is Ars form. Youth marries a girl after having offered a pair of cows. It was exclusively meant for yajna. This form of Vivaha is called Ars, when daughter is married to a rishi for his vast knowledge of Adhyatmic culture. Very important distinction here made in the Ars form, other forms. Deva form. In this form, the decorated girl was given away by father to a priest who officiated at his yajna, sacrifice commenced by him. Later on, this custom falls apart primarily due to decline of yajna tradition. Then we have Brahma form. This was the most evolved method. Smriti regarded the most honorable tribe. It was free from physical force, carnal appetite, imposition of conditions, and lure of money. In this form, girl was given by father with such ornament as he would afford to a man of character and learning, whom he invited voluntarily and received respectfully without taking anything in return. This form is still current, though it has been corrupted and prostituted with the morbid stipulation of dowry. Vedic wisdom says that every jnana, every pure tradition can be corrupted and polluted and uprooted with the deep darkness and the greed, enviousness, all these bad habits of mind. Very important. Let's look at the two important rituals. There are, you have a lot of rituals. There are a number of rituals, 34, 35. But let's look at the Saptapadi, and let's look at the Kanyada. These are the two important rituals that are performed. Saptapadi, the 7 circumambulation around the Agni Kund, and these are the 7 vows are taken. First step for sap or food, second step for strength, third step for vows, fourth step for happiness, fifth step for wealth, sixth step for all seasons, seventh step for sacrifice of right. At the end, bridegroom says, "Be my friend for life." These are the 3 bonds, the 7 bonds. Please note, number and types of rituals in the structure, although similar, yet vary in Greh Sutra of all the 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sam, Ved, Atharva. Number of rituals, 34 to 35. Many of them are not followed in current times. Look at the Kanyadan. The most controversial current time under the influence of the movement called the feminism. That a new movement has come up for last 100 years in the West called feminism. I'm not going to describe that. But under this feminism, Kanyadan is considered to be demeaning to the bride. Because Danam, just like Vidyadan, I'm just like Shramadan, Dhanadan, we are giving away something. It does not mean that it does not start belonging to the person who is giving out. Let's look at the actual understanding here. While this Kanyadan takes place, the guardian of the bride utters the following sankalp or determination. Look at the idea behind it. For the obtainment of absolute happiness as the consequence of Kanyadan for our forefathers, for purifying my 12 preceding and 12 succeeding generation through progeny born in this girl, and for the propitiation of the Lakshmi and Narayan, I make this gift. So this is very, very important, aspect. I'm without quoting the Sanskrit language, I'm here quoting in the English language. This is the purification and the 12 previous birth and future generations, Lakshmi and Narayan, God and goddesses, I make this gift. If this gift does not belong to this bride does not belong to me or us as a father and mother, does not belong to us. It was given to us by Narayana to continue this world process in a structured and disciplined manner. He then recites the verse, I give away this girl adorned with the gold ornaments to you, Vishnu. He's not giving away to the bridegroom. The bridegroom is the Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, with the desire of conquering the world of Brahma, the nurser of the whole universe. All the creatures and the gods are witness to this fact that I make gift to this girl for the salvation of my forefathers. Very important. Groom, while accepting the bride, promises not to go against her wishes in the matter of dharma, money, and desire. This is how the mutual yogic union takes place. This is what it means by Kanyadar. The girl is given away to Lord Vishnu for the purpose of continuing this, perpetuating this world process through progeny, through a structured yogic way of life, through ashram dharma yoga. Girl also, please notice, the girl after Vivaha also adopts a new Gotra. The original Gotra belonging to her parents' family no longer is given away, and she has to pick up Gotra of the bridegroom's family. The girl's parents have no longer right to meddle in her new family. Yet duties toward helping and supporting her, especially at the times of need, remain strong. So the parents are still connected with the welfare and well-being of their daughter, but they have no absolute right to meddle in the affairs of the new family that girl has adopted. It is dharmic duty for fulfilling the requirements of Grahastha Ashram. Grah Sutra specify 8 different forms of vivaha we have talked about. Mantra used in each ritual are highly significant. Primary purpose ritual to seek longevity, good children, wealth, health, and fulfillment of dharmic obligations. Absolutely in all the 4 Vedas, there is no indication of subjugation of the wife to the husband or vice versa. It is emphasized that they are equals and friends for life, with no suggestions of one dominating the other. Very, very important. Those who have studied all the Vedas, Grah Sutra from all the Vedas, this is the conclusion. There is no dominance of one over other. They are the best friends, best companion, best union, so that together they can deliver and follow and stand on the dharmic principles, not only for their own family, but the extended family as well, the entire world as well. We are talking about new dharmas born. Newly born dharmas, what they are, oh, it's just most wonderful. It's just most beautiful. There are 6, I have added, there are traditionally 5 dharmas. I have added one more, which is important under contemporary world. Bhut Yagna. Gift or food is to be offered to all animals, including dogs, crows, and insects, as well as to animals suffering from disease, protection and purification of natural world. This is called the Bhut Yagna or Bhut Dharma. This is the part of the Grihastha Ashram field. Manush Yagna, proper reception and treatment of visitors in one's home, service and help to all the poor, diseased, and those disabled. That dharma has to be followed. Pitri Yagna, typically daily offering grains, rice, water, milk, fruit, and so on in loving memory of the deceased family members. Believe in the Pitra Loka, where the after the death, before taking another birth, there is an interim period where the Jivatma is situated. We have to keep offering. This is the connectivity. This is the yogic connectivity. We keep on. The whole Vedic worldview is all interconnectivity, reintegration. When the separation has taken place, you have to provide rituals for reintegration, original unity in diversity. Then we have Devya. The gods and goddesses are to be honored. Deities include Agni, Prajapati, Soma, Indra, heaven and earth, Dhanvantari, Vishnudeva, and Brahman. Brahm Yagna, offering to the Brahman as a swadhyaya and self-reflection, recitation, contemplation of sacred granthas such as Vedas, and bringing out that wisdom into practice. That has to be performed by each and every one situated in the Grihastha Ashram. I have added one more, which is very important. Rashtra Dharma or Rashtra Yagna. Primary fields of Rashtra Dharma are unity, stability, security, pollution and corruption control, and all other policies and programs that promote commitments and practice of Purushārtha Yogadharma Kshetra. These are the primary fields of activity. So one's contribution toward achieving the above goals is important. Rana, Rashtra Dharma, situated within the field of Grihastha Ashram. Now, since a lot of us have different place of birth and different place of work, different countries, and this is what is important. Positive contribution to your Janbhumi, country of birth, and Karmbhumi, country of living and working. So if you have a different country of birth, you have to also make positive contribution there, if you could. Also, wherever the work is, living is, that country also belong to you, and you have to contribute positively to that entity as well. So basically, there's a totality of enclosing all lokas. If you look at these 6 ranas that I have delineated, you will find out these 6 ranas are they really encompass all the lokas, divine human nature, with all the dimensions, so profoundly, brilliantly unique doctrine of Lokasamgraha Yogadharma, and the only Bharati rishis could do it. This is the complete, total integration of diversity within the field of 6 yagnas. We have been forgetting these, contemplated movement inward for the entire sacred world, including all the gods and the universal forces life. We are realized to dwell within the human heart. That's why we do the I talked about that, yes, all the gods and goddesses are within our body as well as they are outside in the world and beyond the manifested world. And here are the quotations: all the gods are within me. In the heart resides all the gods. In it are established the vital breaths. In the heart are life and light. All this stand within the heart in the sparkling of consciousness. I have proposed and developed new dimension, exploration, and the articulation of the unique institution of ashram. One can find out after careful examination of primary Greh Sutra of the Veda. This is a sticking point, very important point. There is no yogic integration exists between the Vivah Sanskar and Grahasthashram. They are in parallel. So if you look at the Vivah Sanskar itself, no rituals are performed, no steps are taken, no vows are taken to address the dharmas of the Grahasthashram. They have not been integrated, unfortunately. So the 5-6 ranas I'm talking about, they are not talked about during the Vivah Sanskar or after the Vivah Sanskar, entering into the Grahasthashram. Complete darkness. Therefore, entire body of sanskara need a major overhaul. Sometimes we hear about the trial tribulations, conflict, confusion, unwanted fights between husband and wife are natural. However, they must be resolved within the boundaries of the Grahasthashram. They cannot get out the wilderness. Within the Grahasthashram, they must be resolved. And it's a different topic by itself. Several hours I can spend on this particular topic. What happens within the Grahasthashram between husband, wife, and other family members. In brief, it is a union of the fittest couple. It is a new bond between two independent personalities. It is a permanent, stable, yoga-dharmic union. It provides the ground for perpetual existence through progeny. It provides the ground for controlled sexual pleasure. Controlled sexual pleasure. It is a crisis, removal of evil influences. It asserts a new era in life. It is not a passport for sexual indulgence and gratification, but a social dharmic institution aiming at the moderation in the conjugal life. It's a social change, involves a greater compromise and mutual sacrifice. Invites the conscious acceptance of responsibility and resulting suffering. For its willing sacrifice for the spouse, for the family, and society of the world. We must stop using the term marriage and wedding. They are not synonymous at all. So very, very important. For example, marriage wedding, go back to Greek tradition. I have a few more minutes. Go back to Greek tradition. You will find the idea of marriage and wedding, which is basically a legal contract or social contracts. And some rituals were added later by the Abrahamic tradition. While the Vivah Sanskar is not only union of two, male and female, it's also part of perpetuation of human existence through progeny. Adhyatmic Yogadharma, divine world is invoked, Adhyatic world is invoked, social dharma, yagna, legal union, psycho-mental union, a path to Banprasth and Sannyas ashram, a path to moksha and divine experience. This is the Vivah Sanskar. The marriage and wedding, the very linguistic terms are strictly legal in context. They are the legal contract. That's why we have in-laws. Brother-in-law, sister-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-laws, all are in-laws. These are the legal contracts. In the Hindu Dharmic tradition, these are not the legal contracts. They are the real human relationship for achieving the dharmic principles of living. It is only become a show business nowadays. Most presiding priests, bride and groom, their parents, family, friends do not even care to know about the meaning, purpose of sanskar and how they should be practiced. Let's look at this very interesting picture here, painting. This is the Herodotus, the ancient Greek writer. He calls this in ancient Babylon. Every woman, even belonging to noble families, was obliged to prostitute herself once in her life with a foreigner. Look at the very ancient Babylonian concept of marriage. The woman has to prostitute herself at least once in her lifetime with a foreigner. Now, the concluding remark, the final conclusion. If one can look carefully at the development of modern practices of dating, one cannot fail to notice that simple act of meeting between male and female, just to know each other better, has grown into living together tradition. While still unmarried, the consequence of living together trap, based on recent study as stated below, are sufficient to illustrate the failure of passion, lust, greed-driven search for perfect match under the guise of love. This is a recent study. There are many other studies have come up. They say couples who lived together before marriage divorced at a higher rate than those who did not. Most men in a living relation are not monogamous, and women too have extra live-in affairs. Exchanging love for debt or becoming entwined with each other financial woes prevent the easy escape one might seek down the road. These are the serious drawbacks. These are the serious consequences of the lust and greed-driven so-called living together trap. Very, very important to notice. And you can find, though, if you come across such individuals, you can intimately find out what is going on within there. It will address the same issue. It will point out at the same drawbacks, serious drawbacks as listed over here, my dear listeners. With this, I will make the final prayers all together. Om Sehna Vavatu Sahanau Vunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejastu Navadhitumastu Ma Vidvasavahai. Om Santi 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 Harihi Om. And just want to tell the audience that these lectures, with their summaries, with many other articles that I have been writing, they are available on the class, the Google Class website. You can look at those, you can reread, you can relearn. Also, you can start teaching others in your tea table talks or parties or wherever you get a chance. Let them come back together with this wonderful institution of what you call the Lokasamgraha Lokasamgraha Yogadharma in practice. Thank you so much. I bow down to all of you for your kind attention and listening to this ancient wisdom under contemporary changing conditions of life. Thank you so much. Any questions, quick questions? I will try to address those. Somebody is raising the head.
Yeah, this is Mahendra Mishra. Chaturvedi ji, pranam.
Pranam.
Very interesting or informative, I should say. My question is that in today's world,
yeah,
children, girls and boys,
yeah,
are basically they are marrying later and later because of their career, the time they spend on making career. Average doctor is 35. Same applies. And they are in that age group, that the drive and the hormones and all that. So they end up with partners, and my information may be wrong, that they before they marry, they have gone through multiple 3-4 partners. And so what is the solution of that problem?
Yes, it's a wonderful questions. I think lots of us have been raising these questions that under contemporary living in one condition, what we can do to foster some of these ideas. For one of the things very important to realize that these ideas that we have been talking about, they do not take away your professional life. They, in fact, enrich your commitment to professional life, at the same time, enrichment to personal life, enrichment to dharma. The problem is, from the very conception, child is never taught about these things throughout his or her own life. Educational component is totally missing. Let me give you one simple example. You work in a professional life, you become doctor. How many years you devote to the learning about the theory and practice before you can earn a good livelihood? The same in every profession. Now you cannot devote even couple of days or 1 week before you go for Vivaha Sanskar, before you go marriage, to have what you call orientation program for both of them, potentially husband and wife. It's a mind-boggling to me. I've been professional. I've been learning by myself for a long period of time. I have learned the things that I have been doing wrong in the beginning of my career. I have enriched my career, not only me, but many of the audiences sitting here, including you, must be experiencing the same thing. It is simply mind-boggling. Is simply an excuse that we cannot learn these things and practice while going through each and every trial and tribulation in professional life. I do not see any conflict. It will promote better professional life. It will promote better relations, less of the problems. If you look at the professional life towards the end of life, ask your colleagues, ask your friends and family members, before they reach the end of life, what did you gain? What is your experience? मेरा जीवन कोरा कागज कोरा ही रह गया. If that is what the freedom we want to enjoy, go ahead and enjoy. But if you are raising the question that the ideas cannot be implemented in the mind and our practice without really making any drastic changes in my lifestyle, in my professional life, in my personal life, we can still keep saying, honey, I love you. But watch out. Honey, I love you is not good enough, because we must know love is not going to last for long. Yeah, I love you. We love each other to perform at the same time duties that have to be performed. Dharma has to be performed. See, this is the incomplete statement. Honey, I love you. No, it's incomplete statement. Honey, I love you to fulfill my dharma in this world. So this is a very important what kind of language we use, what kind of articulation we use, and they can be taught as along. That's why the gurukuls are important. Gurukul type education is important, where you have integration of the ancient ways of living, good ways of living, and integrating with the contemporary challenges that we face in everyday life. This can be done, must be done, and we all must work together to get it done. For example, whenever I used to go to parties, I used to tell, I was considered to be, unsocial. Because in the parties, I always used to tell them, you're inviting me, I will request you at the same time. You gossip all the time. I think you can tape record one party gossip and you replay actually in everyone the same thing goes on. I said, why don't you do one thing? You have invited several guests. Ask some of the guests to make a 20 minutes presentation of their experiences of life, professional life, or both, so others can learn. And then you have plenty of time to do gossip and relax, which is important.
Thank you. One follow-up question, Chaturvedi ji.
Yeah.
Half of first marriages end up in divorce.
Yeah.
And what happens when kids growing up, they are not paying as much attention or even very little attention to marriage part. They pay all the attention for career because the back of their mind is that all their friends divorce, they will get divorced. So the importance of selecting right partner or waiting, or that importance is missing, is my observation. I may be wrong.
No.
As
I
they
think
pay for career.
it's a correct observation. See, if you are forcing only one element, earth or calm, dharma and moksha are missing from your mental makeup, from your thought process. This is what you are going to end up with. Those who are so much attached to calm vritti, desires, and money, better they are, don't get married. But make sure what will happen eventually, you are going to fool around with other women or other men. Because the desire built in yourself, a calm desire, a sexual and sensual desire, cannot be fulfilled simply by focusing on money and calm. Honey, I love you is not good enough. So it is your choice. Vedic wisdom says your choice. You want to go to enlightenment, you want to go to moksha, or you want to simply go to the cycles of birth, death, life, and the life has become misery nowadays. There is a popular saying now, some of the thinkers have said very correctly, we are all in rat race. But the end, the destiny, when you reach the destiny, we still remain rat.
Thank you very much, Chaturvedi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm so far so good.
Okay.
With your blessing, I'm so far so good.
Rajiv Verma-ji, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, Shivji, today's lecture was, as always, very, very deep, and somebody can spend a lifetime of work building it up. But there is one thing very interesting you mentioned in your presentation, that the so-called that yogification of Graha Sutras with the Vedic wisdom has not happened yet. So do you see a prospect of developing some kind of a Grahastha yoga kind of practice that will go towards bringing the two together?
That's a great question, and I will say yes. Actually, for last 2 years, I've been trying to catch hold of some young Sanskrit scholars.
Mhm.
I've talked to several of them, and the young Sanskrit scholar professors and teachers, they agreed to the idea. They were enthusiastic, but it was found out they don't have time. I am willing to give all the skeleton, all the ideas, theory and practice, all the skeleton, but somebody has to then help me out to fill up the blanks through making new Sanskrit shlokas.
Mhm.
I can give the Hindi or English English versions, but I do not have training that I can formulate new mantras. But this integration has to be done. Sooner or later, this has to be done. And even priest, if you talk to any priest around, there is nothing, no mention of grahast ashram, new dharmas that create totality of existence to serve all those components does not exist. It has not been, not only the I will extend your question, not only the grahast ashram or the other ashramas and also the sanskaras, including our foundational aspect of the Vedic wisdom, have not been looked at for more than 1,000 years. Can you believe
Okay.
that?
Okay, so
Yeah.
so you are saying that it may have existed, let us say, 1,000 years ago, but it probably came down and became extinct
That is correct.
in the post-Vedanta period, probably. Is that fairly accurate?
Yeah, it's a fairly reasonable statement. Whenever we have propagated this, what you call the defective notion, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Whenever you say Jagan Mithya, Naswar is a different term. Whenever you have used the term Jagan Mithya, and then you propagate it through each and every day lecture, it means that all dharmas and the worldly process cease to exist.
Even though Adi Shankara may not have meant it, or
No,
probably
Adi
not
Shankara,
meant it that way. Yeah.
no, Adi Shankara did not mean it that way.
Mean it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he did
But the
not mean it that
followers
way.
just.
That is correct. It has been
Mhm.
corrupted, polluted, and almost uprooted the way it is.
Right.
Because unfortunately, the very word mithya has been a not good word by Shankaracharya to use.
Mhm.
Because Shankaracharya has given commentary on, for example, Bhagavad Gita, where the Bhagavad Gita clearly, I have a copy of the commentary, where he interprets it correctly. Sri Krishna says, Asatyam cha apratyastam cha jagadahor nishwara. Those who feel this word is mithya, asatya, apratyastit, unsituated, without Ishvara, they are in mood of deep darkness called Rakshasi. So asatyam has been used that yes, the world is not asat. Asatyam cha apratistam cha jagdahorinishwara. Jagat exist karta hai. Illusory nahi hai. My understanding about my experience about the world, the way we experience, feel like this is all illusion. And certainly it will be illusory if towards the end of life, if we say, my life has been a big waste. What did I accomplish for myself by myself? What is the enlightenment? What is the future journey? if we have not talked about it. For them, that idea, that foundation appears to be illusory. In fact, another extension about this one, I have given a talk in another platform on the Agnidev, Sarup of Agnidev. I was totally stunned to find out, oh my goodness, it's wonderful to find out that if you look at the Vedas, scattered the Agnidev Sarup in different Vedas, in Upanishad and all those, Vedanga. Oh my goodness, they give us all the ideas of electromagnetic radiation. Electrical field, magnetic field, radiation field. We knew Vidyut. Why we cannot, I asked the question, why we cannot discover the electricity to start the revolution, industrial revolution? Why we could not do it? The Vedic listeners and priests, they did not have an answer. I said, I have the answer. You have ignored the Adibhotic world.
Right.
You have ridiculed the Adibhotic world. The very practice is the foundation of the Vedic Dharma traditions. Has been ridiculed. We cannot do experiments. Experimental science used to be very prevalent in every field if you look at the ancient tradition, but that was ridiculed, that was forgotten, that was ignored, because simply everyone to start working on this, denial of the world. That's why, some of the Western thinkers and even our own thinkers have said, oh, this is the world-denying worldview of Hindus.
Mm-hmm.
So all these associated concepts and ideas came out about the very first misunderstanding and misinterpretation and misuse of that word in our Vedic tradition. And people are parroting, the followers will keep parroting those. I have raised these questions to contemporary Vedanta scholars. I said, how do you interpret these two things? Contradiction, serious contradiction. Asatyam cha, pratistam cha. Bhagavad Gita versus the Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Not only, I have in this lecture series also presented what Brahma you are talking about. The Akshar. I have identified more than dozen Brahma. Akshar Brahma, Char Brahma, Abhyakt Brahma, and I have given a new identification to all the electromagnetic fields, all the radiation field, Bikiran Brahma. So that a new Brahma has been born.
That's wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to say pranam and thank you so much for
Pranam
such
to everyone. So wonderful, so beautiful. And I want your blessing. Please bless me.
I wish it could spread everywhere. Our younger generation can get benefited
so
by it.
Any other questions or any other comments? If there are none, we'll close.
Yes, please. Please go back and look at the website, class website, and you can post your questions there too. Or you can discuss the questions further on. You can call me and we can one-to-one, we can discuss about it. We can contribute this knowledge together and propagate and disseminate in other locations, other places, and other people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.